What's up? What's happening?
Yup, we back and we sober this time.
Yeah. Not so much, but
I mean, I haven't listened to the whole thing, but it's like it took us about 2/3 of the podcast to start talking about Pineapple Express.
I started thinking, I was like, is there a way that we could like make this the back half, maybe? Somehow flip it, but
I don't think so.
No,
I don't
not.
think so.
There's not a good transition.
Well, and then there's the whole like long stretch where Cody's telling his story about the first time he got high, and I had the mic turned down. And I was just like, so it's just dead air, and you and I just going, yeah. But that's DMT Reviews. We're on DMT Don't Miss This Podcast.
That's right. We're on to Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, Monday happened 2 days ago.
Indeed.
3 days ago.
I still have to edit the video for it and put it up, but I got the audio up on schedule.
A lot of excitement. A lot of excitement floating, you know?
Yep, indeed. You know, it's, as someone would call it.
It's all very exciting.
There we go. Solid.
Yeah.
That was solid.
Yeah. My beard's scraggly. I forgot to brush it.
Nah, you look good. You got it.
I can't tell from the camera.
You
Flipped
know,
around.
it looks good. Yeah. You got it tight, you know?
Tight.
You got a point, you know, like a pharaoh point.
I mean, that's what I'm going for. It's the Kratos
Yeah,
style.
there you go.
That's what I strive for. I get compliments on my beard quite often.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, man. It's the reason I don't shave, that and sheer laziness.
Oh, I don't shave because I don't have a chin.
Yeah. I get it.
Like, this is my chin.
I have baby cheeks. Yeah, we all have our scars, you know, if you will.
Yeah,
Our facial problems.
somewhat to a degree.
But hair covers it all up, okay? That's the thing.
I feel
Grow
just
into the beast you were
very-
meant to be.
Very dehydrated in my face skin because I drank last night.
Oh, yeah. See, I went to a concert, but I did not drink last night. I mean, I did, but, like, not as much. I had to drive, so not as much. But we live, like, 10 minutes from Red Rocks. We went, 2 Sundays ago to see Mulaney.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
And I didn't drink at that.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought the one beer at Mulaney, and I was like, oh, I can't be paying $15 a beer. I can't be doing it.
It's too
No way.
expensive.
Can't do it.
And I mean, I didn't even consider that. I was just like, I'm not drinking. Which, that was a great week. And then Sunday, somebody bought us shots for after our shift. I was like, fuck it. I guess I'll have my drinks.
Got a party.
And then I had like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Monday, I was hungover, had some hair of the dog, went to record with you guys, grabbed Wendy's on the way back, which I was very excited about because I was so fucking high.
Solid.
Got home, and it was like, okay, I have a ticking clock to upload the audio.
Welcome to the dance floor, boys.
I got to upload the audio now. So I cut it together, uploaded it, and then I just crashed out super hard. And when I woke up, and then I had the whiskey on the podcast. So, I was carrying a pretty decent buzz coming home. And when I woke up, it was just like, well, this Wendy's is coming back. That is a Baconator coming right back at you.
That's what they do.
Or whatever it was.
That's why they're the Baconator. They will be back.
Yeah. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
And,
I'll be your asshole.
Yeah, so I just yacked.
I'll be your asshole.
I yacked so hard when I woke up. I was like, oh God. And it felt so much better.
Yeah.
But that was like, oh wow.
There's a difference. There's sick pukes, and then there's like, my body doesn't need this pukes. You
Yeah.
know? And those are like
Those are the
sneezes.
best ones.
Yeah.
They feel like sneezes. Like you just released something
You're
from
like,
your body.
I
that
definitely
is like,
need mouthwash, but after I do that, I'm going to be a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Totally. Been there, done that. Yeah, since I moved into the new place, I've been having a much more structured routine to my days. Now I just have so much more time of my own and whatnot. And I've been eating reasonably. I've been cooking, and I've been on a steady workout regimen. And I gotta say, I wake up and my poops don't take an hour anymore.
Yeah?
It's incredible. I mean, it is.
The week of not drinking, my butthole was not an asshole.
Exactly.
You know?
You
So
you
it
just
was
want
like,
it to
it
be
was
a
like
butthole,
normal poops. Normal poops, and I think I gotta give credit to the smoothies.
That's, yep. Smoothies
Smoothies
will help the system.
But definitely drinking will fuck your shit up literally.
Totally. Well, drinking and then, intermixing any assortment of, it's not, I don't want to say it is, like fast food, or I should just say shitty food in general.
Yeah.
And we know what that means.
Garbage food. Bar food.
It's not the food itself. It is the quantity and the, I would say, quality, but more so how much are you eating and how much of a regular habit are you making eating that much?
Yeah.
That when I put on weight, it's because I'm going out of my way to constantly eat food I don't need, which sounds like everybody's weight gaining problems, right?
Right.
But like the moment that you stop doing that and you go, well, not even stop doing that. You say, I'm just not going to buy that shit from the store anymore. And you don't have it. Yeah, you're hungry for a couple weeks. But once you get over that hump of being hungry, it's just, I feel so much better.
Oh, yeah. When you get down to the
so
right
much better.
portions and of the right stuff, then you just feel great.
Exactly.
You feel normal, if anything.
It feels like a machine. It's an efficient machine that you're driving
Heartburn
around.
is a thing of the past, that kind of stuff. Because I need to change my shit up for real. Because the smoothies, adding the smoothies in now for like usually my breakfast, that's huge. But I usually don't have lunch, and then I'll be at work and eat there. And I mean, like, last time I was there, I had a club on a croissant and a side salad. But then Jess wanted to order chili cheese fries on my tab, and so there's a side option for the chili cheese fries. It's like a reasonably small side plate, but they gave us a full portion, and she's like, well, there's no way I'm going to eat all of this, so you can have some. So I'm like, fuck, I was trying not to have fries, but
Chili cheese Sam.
Chili cheese
Sam.
the chili cheese
Came out to play.
Yeah. You know who else is a real big chili cheese fan? Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. He likes chili cheese.
Chili cheese dogs, dude.
Has that always been his thing, or is that a
It
Ben
has been.
Schwartz touch? Okay.
It's always been his thing, and I completely forgot about it until rewatching Sonic and then watching Sonic 2.
Yeah. He eats a lot of chili cheese dogs, or just notably
He loves
eats
chili
eight.
cheese
Oh,
dogs.
okay.
He
That's
loves
awesome.
Chili cheese dogs.
Kind of like how Garfield loves lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sonic and Mario loves mushrooms.
Yes. Which is why he sees weird dinosaurs and flowers and gorillas and
Can you
other
imagine that being like a thing where
assortment
it's
of
like
strange
Mario
things.
coming down off his mushroom trip, and then all of a sudden, reality comes back in, and there's just murdered people, like stomped children that he thought were Goombas, people that he's like, folded into like backpack sizes and kicked at each other.
Yeah, that's a path I'm interested in going down because you have the original, which had John Leguizamo and
Bob Hoskins.
Bob right?
Dennis Hopper.
And that movie was what it was. They tried to. I would argue they took it too seriously, in a way, if you will.
They never picked up a controller.
Yes, exactly.
That's
they didn't
what
understand what it was fundamentally.
They read the title of Super Mario Brothers and they go, "Oh, so their both last name is Mario, huh?" So it's Mario, and Luigi Mario.
Yep. It's a mess. I would rather see the experimental psychedelic film of Mario eating the mushrooms with Luigi, seeing these creatures, going on these adventures, saving Princess Peach.
That's what the Chris Pratt's going to be.
And like you said, I want him to wake up and I want him to realize he has made mistakes.
Yes.
He has done too much
He's
crocodile.
lit too many things on fire. I mean, pipes have burst in the sewers from him crawling down and up them.
This is intriguing.
And he's covered in shit and blood.
I'm excited to see a, Bowser Jack Black.
Me too.
I wonder
I'm
what that's
excited
going
to
be.
see on Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong was his own original thing, right?
Yeah. Well,
and then he joined Mario.
Donkey Kong was the original Mario game.
Oh, and
I think that's what it was called, but what it was that whole thing where you're Mario and you got to climb up the ladders and platforms, and he's throwing barrels at you from the top.
Okay,
I
he was the OG villain.
I think, yeah. Let's see. Donkey
Whoop,
Kong.
whoop, 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 whoop. I can't do it. I can't do the thing. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Waka waka waka
There it
waka
is.
waka 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 waka.
Wow.
Yeah, Donkey Kong was the original game. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
DK.
Yep.
It's the DK Lounge.
It's the DK Lounge, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful film. I hope they've done a great job with the casting. I would say, I would rather. Is it gonna be animated? I assume. I would rather, honestly, see Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Seth Rogen.
Charlie's Luigi, isn't he?
Seth Rogen and Jack Black in a live action thing together.
I think we all would.
I think that has to happen. I think we need to get it together. And also, I like James Gunn fighting for Chris Pratt. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, what the fuck? I'm drooling. That's how mad this makes me.
Get on that soapbox!
Is up with people.
Yeah.
It's at the point now where I hope in an Elon Musk-owned Twitterverse that fuck your feelings becomes the new slogan. Because, like I said to Jake, I'm just goddamn outraged. Just over it.
You're outraged about the outrage.
I'm outraged about the outrage
Yes.
because it means that emotion trumps logic every fucking time.
Dude, truth is not a thing anymore.
You know? And it's like, that's what a jury is for, is to gather all the info and then vote how they feel.
See,
logically.
You're not living in the 2020s.
Instead of just being like, well, it's super ableist of Chris Pratt to congratulate his current wife on having a healthy and happy baby. It's a shot at Anna Faris because she had a premature baby and all this stuff. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, when I hear things like that, I'm like, wow, you have too much time to think, you know?
Or draw connections. And
Yeah.
also, you're obsessed with celebrities.
Yeah.
Get a fucking life.
Yeah.
You know? I don't get that. I don't get that. And it's like, you know what? Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
And then them just being like, yeah, replace Chris Pratt with Patrick Wilson. I mean, that's not a bad casting choice for Star-Lord, but I would rather him be like Nova or
Sure.
something. You know,
Sure.
something more Patrick Wilson-y.
Is Patrick Wilson...
He's
Was he
not in the
supposed to
MCU.
be in an MCU movie, though? Wasn't he supposed to be in like an Ant-Man or something?
I think he might have been the original villain of Ant-Man.
Yeah, and then it
Might have
didn't
been,
work out.
and then it became Corey Stoll.
Yeah.
But I mean, he ended up being Ocean Master
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
in
jeez.
in Aquaman. Patrick Wilson.
He's the owl guy. He's the owl man.
Yeah, he was a night owl
Night
in the Watchmen movie, and he banged Malin Ackerman in the ship. And when he came, the ship shot fire because Zack Snyder is
making movies.
making creative choices. He's making creative choices.
Yeah.
They're making Insidious 5. Oh,
course.
good.
Is he in it?
Yeah.
Nice. Make that money, P.
But
Dubs.
it's like between that and the Conjuring franchise, it's like he's got it set in James Wan franchises.
Horror franchises. Yeah.
Between Insidious, Aquaman, and Conjuring.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, James Wan really likes Patrick Wilson.
Is he Australian?
Is he? Oh, I would never guess that.
No, Virginia.
Oh, nice. He's a Virginia boy.
But that's the thing I noticed about James Wan is he's like Taika, where he wants to work with Australians as much as possible because he's Australian.
I see. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I had a question, something about Insidious. Oh, just that Ethan Hawke. Man, Ethan Hawke's great.
Ethan Hawke is phenomenal.
Really, I'm excited to see him in The Northman.
I'm excited to see him in The Northman.
The Northman. The Northman.
There's one movie that it has.
I just thought of him because he's in a lot of horror movies.
He's
as
in a
well,
lot of horror
much
movies,
like Patrick Wilson.
He was in The Purge,
Yes, he
which-
was in that really, really, really
Sinister.
horror- the one where it's like the videotapes. Yeah, that's
Sinister.
maybe my least favorite movie I've ever seen.
Really, because it
I-
just freaked you out too bad.
it's too much.
I never watched it.
It's just to me it is too real. Too just. I mean, it's like Saw, but like less hope. You know, more just like horror of. But like, yeah. I
Well,
hate it.
because doesn't it wind up that the thing wins in the end?
Yeah, something like that.
Like it
yeah.
possesses the kids, and the kids kill Ethan Hawke.
Oh yeah. And then they videotape it.
Yeah, I think I caught that part.
Ugh. Yeah.
But without the setup and everything, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've always been a fan of Ethan Hawke's.
Yeah.
I think really the first thing that I saw him in.
Knees.
What?
That's what he says when he conjures things with the staff of Amit.
Ah.
Knees.
Daybreakers. You remember that movie? It's with him and Willem Dafoe, and it's about vampires. They got all these people like hung up in fridges and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was like the first movie I saw him in.
Speaking of Willem Dafoe, I've been watching. I'm halfway through The Lighthouse, which was recommended to me by Carl.
I need to see that, but it's the same director
as The Northman. And it is.
We already watched The Witch, which I didn't
Yeah.
care much for. I mean, it's because it's that style of filmmaking that Ari Aster has taken a huge, liking to, which is a lot of tension and uncomfortability, and when it's released, it's very anticlimactic.
Yeah, there's an incredible amount of The Lighthouse of Robert Pattinson just working on The Lighthouse.
Really?
Just like
Just
taking care
doing
of
that.
it. Like
So
I
it's
mean,
just atmospheric, if anything.
like the first 25 minutes, he's mostly just doing chores.
That's pretty
And,
funny.
occasionally he has weird visions and stuff. And Willem Dafoe's super weird. But like, it's mostly Robert Pattinson just walking around, fixing shingles and, taking care. He's wheeling a lot of stuff around on a wheelbarrow. A lot of stuff.
I just know there's a scene of him
Lots of
jerking
seagulls.
off in the ocean. I don't know when that happens, but he's like jerking off in the ocean.
Yeah, well, no, I definitely seen him jerking off. I don't think he was in the ocean, at least not to the
Not
part
yet.
I've gone to.
Not
Maybe,
yet.
though. Maybe.
They're making a Knives Out trilogy.
Really? That's weird.
Yep, Knives Out 2 is well underway. It's got Ethan Hawke, Kate Hudson, Batista, Ed Norton, Catherine Hahn, Janelle Monáe, Leslie Odom Jr., and Jessica Henwick. Who's she from?
So it has no connection, though, to the original? Or is Daniel Craig in it again, doing his thing?
Oh, it's Daniel Craig. So
Okay.
what I think Ryan Johnson is doing now, it's still Daniel Craig. I think he's turning Daniel Craig, this Benoit Blanc, into being like America's Hercule Poirot from Death on the Nile and
Oh, sure. Okay.
Murder on the Orient Express. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's not Hercule Poirot, that's for sure.
And this is who Kenneth Branagh is obsessed with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Agatha Christie. But because Death on the Nile just went up on everything. I haven't seen either
It was
movie,
like on Hulu or something.
but
Are they connected then?
yeah, they're sequels.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the same character. It's Kenneth Branagh,
Yeah.
but it's just different cast and different mysteries.
Sam, Kenneth Branagh comes to you and says, Sam, I have an idea, okay? We're going to make a movie, okay? It's going to be better than anything Shakespeare made. I finally have an original idea that is going to be my own.
Really,
Yes.
you have an original idea in that
Yes.
little noggin there, Kenny
It's
B.
going to be incredible. I want you to be the star. Will you do this for me, Sam?
Sure. Can
Yes.
we make sure that all the tripods are
No, that
level?
is the stipulation.
That they all have to be
shot
Dutch angles?
is a Dutch angle.
Every shot's a Dutch
In
angle.
fact, I am going to try and make it as upside down as I can possibly be without completely
then I'm
disorienting.
sorry, Ken. I can't do it.
It's too late. I won't let you leave
I'm
alive.
sorry, Ken.
unless you don't do
I
this.
can't. You know what? Actually, I'll do it.
Yeah?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
And
I'll
it-
do it.
And forever, people call you.
And you know what I'll do? I'll make sure that I don't watch the movie. I'm never going to watch this movie.
That's
I will
fair.
not go to the premiere. I will never watch this movie. I will just do my job, collect my paycheck, and I will go home, Mr. Branagh.
Okay. I here as the voice of God again. Okay, pause. Kenneth Branagh, you go make your movie. We fast forward. Okay, that's all true. You never have to see it. You never have to watch takes. You never have to ever see yourself in a Dutch angle. Movie comes out, box office smash hit. Okay, you make millions on this role. This is a career-defining movie for you. Okay, Kenneth Branagh was right. This is better than anything Shakespeare ever made, and you're the face of it. But because of how, what's the word? Prolific his use of the Dutch angle was, it's a huge factor in the success of the film. Everybody calls you Sammy Dutch Boy for the rest of your life.
No.
You wouldn't do it.
No.
You wouldn't do it.
I'm not going to be Sammy Dutch Boy.
You're on.
Are you kidding me?
You're a Brad Pitt level actor, except you're on, Jimmy Fallon. He's like, everybody give it up for Sammy Dutch Boy. No,
Not happening.
The man.
I will never do that, Jack.
Hey, Sammy Dutch Boy, you and KB working on anything
Hey,
exciting? huh?
Jimmy, how about you crack and break another sketch in SNL again, dude?
Looks like I got me a talk show, so it worked out for me. Tell me, Sammy Dutch Boy. That's the old podcast you. Sammy Dutch Boy.
I'm Jimmy Fallon. That's the only impression I have of him. He's like a more he's less sure of himself, but he's like Robin Williams with his nervous laughter.
Now, Sammy Dutch Boy, you want to come over here for a game? We're going to call the Flying
Stop
Dutchman.
calling me that, Jimmy.
But
Jimmy?
that's your name on IMDb. I mean, come
Jimmy?
on. It's on your reel, This is the real Sammy
Jimmy,
Dutch Boy.
I will smash this mug over your fucking head.
Come on, let's
On
go.
live
Let's go
television.
play the Flying Dutchman
Yeah?
with Sammy Dutch Boy,
Okay.
where we stand on a shaken floor like we're on the Flying Dutchman, and people literally do Dutch ovens to us.
I don't know how you come up with this stuff, Jimmy. I mean,
What is a Dutch oven again?
it's
Side note.
It's the big, cast.
No,
iron
but like
one
the
for-
fart thing.
Oh, it's where you hold somebody's head under a blanket after you farted.
Ah, yes. And then beef stew is where you fart in their face.
Yeah, right in their mouth.
Got it. So, Flying Dutchman, you're on a shaking floor with Jimmy Fallon. You're both pinned under blankets where people are farting into them. And you're Sammy Dutch Boy. And your career is on fire.
Does this end with, and then you wake up? It was all a dream?
In the duat.
In the duat? Now we're going to the underworld, dude?
The only way to end this dream is to die.
Okay.
Yeah?
Good. I'm taking Jimmy with me. I'm going to hold his head close to mine and blast it.
You're telling me you would give up a prolific film career, millions of
I'm
dollars.
not going to be just an actor, Jack.
You're not going to be Sammy Dutch Boy?
I'm not going to be Sammy Dutch Boy. Fucking knock it off with that
Because
shit.
you are all about the Dutch angle.
I'm not.
Tilt that camera right now.
Absolutely not.
Put it like this.
Jack, and if you get up and you tilt it to 45-degree angle, I will throttle you.
Why does he do that?
I don't know.
Yeah. What's the point?
It genuinely looks like, they just had a broken tripod, and they're like, it's not in the budget.
yeah, we couldn't
The
reshoot
MCU
this.
hasn't been proven. It hasn't proven itself completely yet.
What if that's what happened?
Yeah, they just had a broken tripod, so they just had to set up the camera like that every fucking time. Because that's literally how it seems every time you're watching that movie. And I remember when that movie came out, we're talking about the first Thor movie for people if I don't think they mention it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
100%. People
The
know.
best theme song of the Thor series.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's
I
definitely
do
a good
like the Ragnarok one.
one. Ragnarok's fun, but it's like a different thing almost.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like an 80s synth cover version of the one from the second one.
Yeah, it's it's totally different.
Of Brian
atmosphere.
Tyler's score from the second one.
Exactly. Of the epic ones, although I do really like Brian Tyler's from the second one. That's Thor always was pretty good with the music.
Yeah.
Even if the movie was shitty, the music was always pretty good.
Well, and Brian Tyler came in and kicked ass for Phase 2. Like, they had no clue who they needed. So he's like, I'll do Iron Man 3. I'll do Thor 2. Hell, I'll do the fanfare.
I'll do Guardians. Yeah.
I'll do Guardians. Yeah.
I have music from all
Yeah.
those soundtracks.
And he's
yeah.
phenomenal.
Those albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. Anyway,
You know what? I should make that my alarm as the Marvel fanfare. Just starting your day with that would be a great
bum,
way.
bum, 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 bum.
Bum, 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 bum.
You're nailing it.
Bum, 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 bum,
Wow, that's a lot of pops there at the end. I got lost on that rocky
I
road.
know.
That was beautiful, though.
I think I went up too soon, but
You did
it's
great.
it's good. It's good. It's all good.
And with T'Challa smashing the ground with the spear. Ah, the best. Shout out.
Shout out, T-Chase.
Love him. Love him forever. Always.
What was it that I just saw? I think I might have. Did I send you that meme where it was like a picture? It was from the episode of Rick and Morty where Summer and Rick got fucked over by Satan, so they get like jacked up to go kick his ass, and it shows them like beating his ass in the yard, and it's funny because like what's over Satan's face is the secrets of Dumbledore. And then it's got the bad guys, the big bad wolf from that, and then Sonic pushing him around. And then they have Peter Griffin lying dead in the background, and it just says Morbius on it. Because that's how the box office is going. Nobody wants these Fantastic Beasts movies.
I know, it's true. Yeah.
The first one was a fine standalone.
Yep.
I didn't bother with the second one because I heard it was shit.
Yeah.
And this one, they recast Johnny Depp, and I heard it's better than the second one, but still, it's like...
Right. Well, it's just at a certain point, yeah, you're
so
clinging to an
clearly-
idea.
Yeah, it's so clearly a cash grab. And everybody can tell.
Yeah. Same thing with The Hobbit. Same thing with I just had in the top. Well, I mean, any of the new Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, any of the Disney Star Wars stuff.
Yeah,
it's not on Disney Plus.
Exactly. No, it is what it is. I got the thing that I keep coming back to is I just don't have to see it, right? Because that's what I think. Like when people talk shit about things I love, I'm like, you just don't have to see it, right? And I'm like, okay, I could apply that principle too. But also, it's not the work itself; it's the idea of the work itself that bothers me so much because it goes back to the idea we've talked about time and time again on here, where it's like the only thing that sells is IP, intellectual property, things people are familiar with, but you never get to that intellectual property if people don't take that initial plunge into the unknown, right? And that's where, like we talked about it last week with Netflix, they almost doubled down on that too much, but in the way of like, oh, we are the creators of original content now, like this is what we do, this is who we are, and they just like started making it, but they made it with, you could tell like kind of towards the end of last year or the past 2 years where they had the big ramp up of 52 movies in 52 weeks and all these different shows and documentaries. And like a lot of it's really good, but like within that, there is always this, the algorithm itself is contrary to that idea. Yeah. The algorithm itself kills that creativity.
Well, and then they'll get a hit, a Netflix original hit, and then milk it for all it's got.
Right.
The only thing they haven't done that for, I would guess, is Stranger Things, because they allowed the creators of that show like 3 years to make season 4.
And Ozark's the same way too. Ozark I would put in that category, and then
but then you got them putting out the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes documentary, and then immediately going and making a movie with Zac Efron.
Right.
And that movie
or the Ted Bundy one. Yeah,
the Ted Bundy ones. And that movie stank. And then I just saw they put out a season 2 of Conversations with a Killer, John Wayne Gacy tapes.
Yeah, I've heard about that one.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Of course, you need to get the context. You need to learn.
Gay murder clown? Come on.
It's one of the most iconic stories in American history.
Really
is. Unfortunately, but we got to know.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
And and to Netflix's credit, they do great documentaries. I would say they almost always knock the documentaries out of the
stand-up specials.
And stand-up specials.
Except they're too like giving with them.
Sure.
Where you'll pop one on of somebody that you've never heard of, and you just go, they're not ready.
Right.
They were not ready for this.
And even then, like, I think they can get away with that because those things have to be... Those things can kind of be whatever they got to be, right? A stand-up special is always going to be, for the most part, a extremely funny person sharing their thoughts, sharing their takes. And if you fuck with that, you can't fuck with it at all, actually. You can't actually mess with the content that much. You can't mess with the format too much because then you're going to kill the idea, right? And they understand that. And same with a documentary. It just has to be what the story is and what the documentary crew can put together and what the editor can assemble, and then that comes out. But like with narrative content in particular, I think we see like the Ryan Reynolds series of films that have come out on Netflix are really interesting in the sense that they're all really fun. I still haven't seen the Adam Project yet, but like
it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, and those are solid and those are really good, and they're being smart in the sense of like, oh, we recognize Ryan Reynolds.
You understand this game, right?
Thanks, Netflix, playing the trailer when I don't want you to. Like, I just wanted to look this up just so I could see what kind of original shit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Howie Mandel's got a new
that you
game
have
show.
acquired.
Of course.
Bullshit. Playing bullshit with somebody.
Oh, see, that's kind of fun, right? Like they can come up with these
the
game
bullshit
shows,
show.
and it's great that they allow this to be. Like I think it's like Pete Holmes has been kind of almost complaining about it a lot on his podcast, where he's like, stop giving me what I want, stop giving me a Hawkeye show and a Loki show and a this and a that. I don't need it. I don't want it. Like, why can't we all just like, he loves Severance because we can all get together and talk about Severance. We've never seen something quite like Severance. I go back and forth because I'm like, well, Hawkeye and Loki are for us. So like, don't stop making those by any means, but also I get what he means there. And I think Netflix is the representation of what he's almost kind of complaining about there, where it's just like Netflix is like, oh, you want to watch something new every night, 100%. Let's go.
I will say that Netflix just recently did like kind of I wouldn't say an overhaul, but it's definitely like they added a shitload of shit that I'm like, I would watch this for sure. I mean, they put the other guys back on there. What did I see?
Through this education.
Thank you.
You don't need knowledge.
Thank you. God. They put Looper, True Grit, Hunt for Wilder People, Warrior,
There we go.
I still need to see The Power of the Dog.
Mm-hmm.
They put the Metallica movie back on, which I'm excited about.
Yeah,
because that movie, because it's a
Isn't Dane
concert.
DeHaan in
It's a
that?
concert with a tiny little bit of Dane DeHaan going on a weird adventure. But for the most part, it's just Metallica having a concert, and I love it.
That's awesome. And that's to Netflix's credit. They're not cable and network television. They're not they're not like film studios that refuse to change, that think they have it figured out. They recognize that they might be, because that's the thing. We talked about this last week. Hulu, Apple TV, HBO, all of them have, at Disney, have all stepped up their game. I'd even argue Peacock, Paramount Plus. I'm more impressed with them than I have been. And Netflix.
I don't remember adding that to my list. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the original cartoon, dude.
Bada bing, bada boom. It's been listening to you.
Yeah.
It's the algorithm.
Well, sometimes I'll see stuff on my list that I'm just like, I did not add that.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm not even complaining so much anymore. It's just fascinated by it's so unprecedented what Netflix is doing. And, it's almost, we have a tendency to say they're doing it the right or wrong way, right? Mm-hmm. I just hope they recognize that, there is no right or wrong way necessarily. Listen to the people, listen to fans. What are they asking you for? Not just, what do you think they want?
Well, and that's the whole thing that I think the case had been made about just Netflix's problem, where they're increasing the price and then making it harder for people to share profiles and everything like that.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I kind of get it because they're losing money off people sharing accounts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I get that. But at the same time, why'd you lose The Office? Why'd you lose Friends? The shit that people wanted to just watch on repeat. You still got New Girl, still got The Good Place. I'm stoked about that. Mm-hmm. But all the other stuff, it's like, I would much rather have The Office than sign up for Peacock.
Right. I mean, the question always should be, not what do you think they want? It should be, what are they asking for? Or what would you want to see? If you make something from those two places of energy, like I think Marvel kind of does a little bit of both. I think, many HBO shows or HBO promote shows that they go, ooh, I would like to see this on TV. And like, we're kind of an exclusive enough club that we can make that decision. But like Netflix can be that, but for a wider range of content and an audience, right?
Yeah.
And I've been this is a very recent idea, so I'm not going to say I've been living by this, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot this week, acting out of impulse versus instinct, right? I feel like those are two extremely different things. And I feel like I'll take HBO and Netflix.
Dude, South Korea does not fuck around with their horror.
No, they don't.
There's a show that I guess is on my list called Sweet Home, and it had like freaky fucking creature thing on the cover. I'm looking at it on IMDb, just like the pictures. Mm-hmm. Like fucking wow. This looks very gory and terrifying.
No holds bars, dude. Yeah. No holds bars. And that's to Netflix's credit.
Instinct versus
impulse. Yeah. And that fits into just being like, Netflix has the instinct to invest in international films. Nobody was doing international content. Nobody was doing that before.
Exactly.
It's definitely not an impulsive decision. That's an instinctual, smart decision. Mm-hmm. And there's a big difference where, like, again, if you're making it for what you think they want, that's impulsive, right? If I am trying to, talk to a girl and say the things I think she wants me to say, it's never going to work. It never does. Versus just being in the moment, what feels right? Yeah. Living in that. Same with trying to sell a client. Same with, making decisions, writing, or anything like that. There's a difference. You can feel it between going like, we have to do this. We have to make this decision. We got to go, right? Because you have to, because you think you should, because you whatever, versus going like, no, this feels right. Or, ooh, what if we tried this? Let's just entertain that for like 5 minutes and let's see what path it goes down. And when you trust that feeling versus, because I especially nowadays, I've been very much like, follow your instincts and just write and go for it and don't try and plan as much, because maybe that's taking more time from getting pages done. Maybe I can meet in the middle and brainstorm while I create, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of that has come from, being in the brainstorming part and going like, again, very impulsive, very much like, we should go here. And, well, we got to get to this point. Well, we got to get to the low point at page 34, stuff like that. And then just going like, that never leads to any good work out of me, at least. Versus,
I mean, like,
just go with the flow.
Like when I
go
brought
with the
up
flow and trust yourself. Those are all you
Blake
gotta
Snyder
do.
beat sheet from Save the Cat the other day, and then Gary just goes, "Yeah, but didn't he like write one movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Blank Check, and that's kind of a crap ass movie. I mean, it's a family fun movie, but it's like you don't go into it for like a very high concept, technically written Aaron Sorkin piece,
right?
Right. And this guy's writing a whole book about it, the book to get people started on writing. And, I mean, it's a great jumping on point to get you an idea of how the creative process works.
Yeah. It's incredible that he could communicate that.
Yeah. But if you try and follow it, one, every movie's going to be the fucking same. And then two, it gets in your fucking head.
Yes.
It gets in your head. So like for me, when I'm making outlines now, it's almost a treatment at this point, where it's just like I'll put the scene where the setting is, the location, write out like a few sentences to a paragraph about what happens in that, and then do that for the next location, so that when I get to the actual script, it's much easier to transfer it over than even if it was just like an outline with like bubbles and just a couple things written down. At least I'd have like, the flow of the scene.
Yeah.
And the in point and out point. But, if I do like, bad guys closing in or Dark Knight of the Soul, that kind of shit, then it's like, well, you'll come to that. But if you force it in there because of the structure, the plan, then it fucks the whole thing up.
Right. If you're writing a good story and you've at least given yourself, that framework, right? You've said, okay, like to me, I got those 5 beats in every, whether it's a show or a movie or anything, 5 beats that have to be hit, right? I think everything hits these 5 beats. This isn't a thing that I do alone, but I used to think like, you got to live by those, right? You got to live by the inciting incident and the climax and stuff. And I was like, I think these should actually be more feelings that I'm trying to generate, right? Obviously, they're actions that move the story along and continue it, but they won't matter if they don't feel like something. And if I don't feel something when I'm writing it, it doesn't really matter,
Exactly.
And the impulsive side of me would be like, no, force it, get it done. Just get it on the page, which, again, it can be done. Even if I take 5 minutes to go, this doesn't feel right, let's ask myself 3 what-if questions and see if they get me to the right place. And usually I get somewhere where I'm at least at peace closing the book or whatever for the day and stuff like that. And that's so helpful, and I feel like it helps you keep going, but it helps the work feel less like work, right? It helps it feel like, I feel like early days at some of these places are so exciting and new, and now
working on what you're feeling at the time versus forcing it.
Right.
Which we both have run into. You just, to give me a whole rundown of what you're working on, which is just like, this is what's hitting me right now, so I'm going to work on that. Meanwhile, yesterday, I go over to the bar and I sit there for like an hour, didn't even order anything, and I'm just like, come on, muses, speak to me.
Sing to me.
Help me break this fucking story.
Yeah.
Because all I have is just the setting, a couple of cast people, and then, I don't know, a MacGuffin? What do I do? Speak to me, walls. Nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing. Meanwhile, what I was really feeling was AVP. So go work on that.
Right. And then, and I always tell myself like through that, right. If you go and you work on AVP, which is maybe the opposite of the, goofy comedy that you're going to work on, let's say, right. You would think, oh, well, okay, then I'm not working on the thing I need to work on, or it's going to throw me off. And it's like, no, the idea is getting into that creative space, getting into that place where, and this is, for us, it's writing, but for so many other people, it's just whatever gets you into that flow state that we're always talking about, right? What's that thing that's going to trigger it for you, that's going to make the work not feel like work? Because if the work doesn't feel like work, then that hump of like, that thought exactly like, oh, I don't know what it is. So like, I don't know how to start on it, right? Eventually that just goes away and you're just moving and you have momentum. And maybe you have an idea on that, or maybe you get 10 pages done on AVP and it's like, that's not a bad day. That's not a bad day at all. And then you work on AVP for 2 weeks, right? And then all of a sudden, okay, I'm kind of running low on that. Or because of the work I did here, because of what I, practiced.
That's one thing I got to write a fucking treatment for.
Right. Well, that's something.
I completely forgot about story treatment until I actually sat down and read the Alien 3 original screenplay comic. Mm-hmm. And the guy was like, get a load of this shit, too. So he wrote the foreword. William Gibson wrote the foreword to this thing. And, he's like, at the time, he was just a sci-fi novelist. Mm-hmm. And they hired him to write this script. And then he, started producing, the script and everything, coming up with these ideas. And he's like a huge fan of the first two movies. And he thought along the lines, what would be a great third for those two movies? Mm-hmm. Which that would have been a great third movie if they made it. Mm-hmm. Even though he had to write Sigourney Weaver out because at the time Sigourney wasn't on board yet. But the story that they told with just Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen's characters from Aliens, fucking phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But in the foreword, he's like, yeah, once I started giving them an actual workable script, I started to get the idea that they didn't want me to give them a serviceable script. What I think they wanted me to do is put in some sort of sci-fi elements that would be cool for them to just, mine this fucking script to throw into the movie they really wanted to make. Yes. And I'm like, what a fuck you. This guy wrote an entire screenplay, and the only thing that survived from it was that the prisoners in Alien 3 have these like barcode tattoos on the back of their necks. That's the only thing from that original screenplay that survived in the final movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I'm just like, what a shit thing to do to a writer. Mm-hmm. Like, that is their job. I mean, I know he got paid for it, and it was like, okay, well, I got paid, and they didn't make my script. Whatever, fuck it. But to give them the hope and then contract them to write a screenplay and then just be like, oh, we're just looking for elements, sci-fi cool stuff in this thing. Mm-hmm. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's where I hope that streaming takes that advantage away from studios because, good content wins now. That's the thing. Back in the 80s, 90s, you could make a film franchise, right? You can make 10 Friday the 13th movies and send Jason to space and get away with it, and people love it, and people still love it, And again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I think, again, it goes back to the studio going, what do I think the audience wants? Mm-hmm. What do I think they want? Well, I think they want cool sci-fi stuff, and I think they want it to be, kind of punk and cool and great. They start thinking all these things. It's like, do you even want that? Yeah. Would you see this movie? I think that's the most important thing not creator, producer, business person.
Would you see this movie?
Would you see this movie and tell your friends about it? Because if you're producing something that you wouldn't tell your own friends about, I know a lot gets invested right away, but I'm like, at least in my naive perspective, how could you allow that to see through? So many movies get delayed and fucked up and they go through the ringer. And I'm like, guys, I know there's a deadline and stuff like that, but the only people that are forcing this are you. So why not do the most you can to make this good? I think at this point, we know the difference between a good and a bad movie. I think actors and creators and producers and all these people, they are well aware of the differences and the nuances of that. And yet we still have, I would argue 50% of movies and TV shows suck, right? Or at least,
Morbs.
Exactly. Exactly. What did you think you were doing? I have never met somebody who has brought up Michael Morbius in casual conversation of my diehard comic friends, And yet you're like, oh, we're going to...
Anytime that he has been brought up, it's been brought up by me complaining about the animated series.
Yeah, to say how unfortunate his presence is in any Spider-Man thing. Really? And yet they're like, no, let's invest massive resources that we could put into anything else. Again... this money is only going to these movies, right? So it's on us to make good movies and to spend the money on the good movies instead of choosing to make shitty movies and then using the resources for marketing because you know how bad the movie is. So you're trying to trick people to get their butts in the seats so that you at least make a big opening weekend off of it. Even if the movie sucks, yeah, you got yours, right? Why even think about it that way in the first place? Just make a good fucking movie. And the shelf life of what you're doing is timeless, right? Again, it's told that you can never make Star Wars in this day and age. And I'm like, why? We're still making Star Wars. Yeah. It was just this random idea in the 70s. Well, obviously, it's not random. There's a lot behind Star Wars. But in concept of being an original idea, it came out of nowhere, right? And it's huge, and it's still going. We're about to get the Kenobi show, and that has got massive hype behind it. And Disney's going to make a shit ton of money because of it. And it's like, you just got to trust these things. And yeah, there's going to be duds. But like Amazon is an example. I don't love Amazon. We've had a lot of conversations about Amazon on here. But they're willing to take losses every quarter so that they can improve and change and be different. And it's like, yeah, it's not about, keeping your head afloat, right? It's about learning how to swim all the way across the ocean, right? It's about learning how to do the thing as best you can.
Exactly.
Right? And yet I just don't think that's anybody's priority. Or again, I'm naive. I don't know, but I know it's really hard.
It's
really hard to make a movie.
It's very hard to make a movie, but I found this website, avpgalaxy.net, that has all of the scripts and all the treatments and all the drafts. Alien 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drafts on it. So
and how many writers' hands touched that?
So William Gibson did 2 drafts. Then a guy named Eric Red did 1. And then David Twohy, who did the Riddick movies, he did a treatment or did a draft. So what's that, 3 now? Then some guy named John Fasano, that's 4. And then Walter Hill and David Geiler, the producers, wrote 2 drafts each. So now that's 6 writers. And then a guy named Rex Pickett rewrote their stuff. So that's 7 total writers for this one fucking movie that ended up being a shit show. They didn't have the script.
Think about it like this.
David Fincher didn't have a script to film, and he was hired to start filming.
Yeah. Think about it like this. A mom has a baby, and the mom is doing everything she can to raise the baby, but the people who are in charge of deciding whether or not she can take care of the baby have decided that she's not doing a good enough job. So they give her a second chance. After second chance, they take baby away. They give baby to somebody else. Other people start raising baby. They say, ooh, well, you've improved on it, but I don't think you're doing a good enough job. They take baby from that person, give baby to next person. That person gets 2 chances to raise the baby. So on, so forth, 5 more times. So 7 total times. That's the script, right? If a baby was raised by 7 different people multiple times over, it's going to get, I don't know if it's going to get fucked up per se, but it has it's a much higher likelihood that it will, because these people don't interact with the story and the characters and what the movie is supposed to be in the same way. It's always different. Yeah. And it's good to get 2-3 hands on it, right? Get different perspectives, but then to just mold it and smash it, hand to the next person, mold, smash, blah, 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 and then you get that movie.
They have a script for The Predator, the original script, and I just skipped to the last page. It's 133 pages, including the title page, so 132.
Wow.
Dutch was supposed to be in it at the end instead of the Predator suit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the very last page. It says Dutch Schaefer right at the top.
Wow.
So Arnold was supposed to be in that movie.
Yeah.
But no, it's so fucking difficult. But when you think about that, unfortunately, that's just going to be the reality that any creator faces, is having to go through a goddamn committee and people who want to, cross-reference or check stuff. And then there's the weird producers who want to put stuff in the movie that it's like, why do you want to put that in the movie?
Right.
It's like, well, I want my touch on this. It's like, do you really need it though?
Exactly.
Because that's going to fuck a lot of shit up if you add that or take that out, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they don't seem to think of these consequences, which again is tough in life, right? Any decision you make is going to have 20 unforeseen consequences, right? But also in an industry where you do this, I mean, most film studios put out, 15 things a year, I mean, minimum.
Well, and they need, I can't remember what it was.
How much shit does Warner Bros. Put out every year?
Yeah, but it's they need to have, something that, the tentpole movies.
Right.
The big event movie. That's why superhero movies are,
the golden, yeah.
Yeah, they're the studio's, printing press.
They're like car commercials for advertising.
Honestly,
studio.
Yeah, exactly. Where
advertising
it's
companies.
They just need that movie to be a hit so that the studio doesn't go tits up, and the other stuff, they don't give a shit if it's successful or not, because they didn't spend a shitload of money advertising it to bring in the studio's nut for the year.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's
But it's like if one of those tentpole movies flops, that could be it for a studio. That could
Right.
fucking ruin a studio.
which is why they have, and that's where I gotta pull back my shoulda coulda wouldas, because there's a lot of pressure on these people. They're doing something that is incredible. Which
I know.
is creating
And as much
films.
shit as we talked about executives, it's like we need them.
Right. Oh, we don't have film without them. We definitely
Exactly.
don't. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's frustrating how much control they have because they do a lot of work. They make it happen. Literally, they're the ones that take it from an idea to an actual creation, right? They're the ones that provide the means to it. But like the people that thought of it, right? The people that actually make it. It's the same Sony and Marvel issue we run into where it's like, yeah, whatever, Sony, just as long as he's still in the MCU, like it's great, but also it's one thing to write a check, it's another thing to make a film, right? And that's where it gets frustrating, where these producers have these high, hardcore expectations. And again, most creators, they should be able to live up to them. But common knowledge is that it's incredibly stressful and very difficult. And there's there's not a lot of room for mistakes, right? Which in creativity is, in theory, the opposite of what you're going for.
Right.
You want as much freedom and as much, impromptu attitudes as you can, but it's hard to do when you're shooting for 12 hours a day and you have to write a script that's 200 pages minimum, or 2 hours on the dot, and you got to do it with this many jokes, and you got to make sure that this actor's in it, and if they're not, we're going to pull the plug on the whole damn thing. And it's like, damn, it takes a lot to make this shit, man. It takes a lot to make it. And that's where I'm just like, then let's acknowledge that and let's embrace the
Right.
challenge
Well,
that is in front of us here,
The realization that I had where it's like, to make a movie, you have to make it 4 times.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
So the
That's
script,
the bird's eye view.
just the script is the first time. And then the second time, pre-production. You got to visualize and plan every fucking shot. And that's, where you get your concept art, the visualization, everything like that. And then you got to shoot the goddamn thing, get it in the can, and then it goes into post-production, which is usually longer than the actual shooting.
Yeah.
Especially for special effects driven movies. So with that, it's like there is 4 stages in which anybody at any time could pipe up and just be like, well, what if we added this? And it's just like, really?
Yeah.
Or what if we don't do that? We rearrange it. It's like,
Really?
really?
That's what you want to
The
do.
thing that you bought from me, the writer,
Yeah.
you were cool with it until we get into actually making it.
Exactly. And it's like, I get that you want to leave your stamp on it. I love that. I love collaboration. But it feels sometimes like you are saying, this was a cool idea. Now it's my product. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm like, that's where money and just, thoughtful, creative, brainstorming type attitudes, which is what is necessary to create these things. That's where it really runs head on. Is ego is such a huge part of both of them, right? Ego in the amount of money you're making and where your status is with that money, and ego of being the creator, right? Of being the one who wrote it, or being the one who is the visionary, the director,
And-
the main character, the actor, right?
And that's the thing that I ran into with people at the school, and where these bullheaded dicks would get their shit, signed off by the teacher, and it's not very good because they were not flexible with their collaborations. And then there's me goes through like 4 rewrites on my script. I take out all the swear words, and the guy's like, "Yeah, we can't make this." It's like, "Get you what?"
Yeah. And why don't you give me any suggestion? And why can't we make
Yeah.
it? Oh, well, this isn't really my style of comedy. It's like,
Okay, good.
yeah.
You're
okay.
old.
Yeah.
How many fucking people have read this script and been like, "Oh, so it's like Dumb and Dumber"? Absolutely not. It's like Dumb and Dumber. It's not like Dumb and Dumber at all.
No.
Because that movie's fucking dumb, dude.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
And it's dumb for dumb's sake. And it's like,
And I'm not swearing. The characters aren't swearing. I'm not adding swearing for the sake of swearing.
right.
Because it's like Jim Gaffigan said, try going on stage and just say fuck a million times and see how funny that is.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It's how you use it.
Exactly.
And I use it in the way that normal 20-year-olds fucking cuss. So, and I mean, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, it's something we can and do ramble about for hours on end and nothing changes and we continue to get frustrated by it. But you know what? That's life, dude. That's what people do when they care about something, you know? When they're passionate. When it matters.
I just want to make a movie.
Me too, man. That's all I think. Well, and that to that point, like that's kind of part of, you know, that idea of impulse versus instinct. Well, I was like, well, my impulse is to write every day, right? My impulse is that I have to do it, right? But my instinct is I just want to write as many pages as I can. My instinct is that the more pages I create, the more of a portfolio I can build, the more I can submit, the more we can record. So I was like, maybe I stop doing all the things I think I have to do and I just start doing the thing I want to do and I like feel is the right move. Mm-hmm. And that's where I like the sketchbook and the whiteboards is like, as you do that kind of stuff, you have blank space. So you can stop, you can brainstorm, you can think, you can create, and then you can go right back into it, right? Mm-hmm. And I've always been somebody who felt like, oh, I have to do, I mean, I remember it so distinctly. It's the third grade writing style. You brainstorm it, you outline the paragraphs, you know, you get in deep, then you outline that outline to make sure it's picture perfect. Then you write a first draft, then you write a second draft, all good, all important. But I'm like, I'm just going to write 20 drafts because to me, the interesting thing is creating the world and creating the people and telling the story, right? And the way to do that, yes, is to scope it out and look at it and dig into it. And I love doing that stuff, but I get antsy when I do it too much because then I'm not doing the thing and I'm not actually writing the stories themselves. And I'm like, well, I could show the people all my sketchbook notes and stuff like that and be like, well, in this part, it's going to connect to and flip 5 pages. This part, which is going to lead to here, or I can just give you a stapled, 20-page script and I can let you read it and we can talk about it and we can really get into it.
Or even a treatment.
Because
I keep forgetting about treatments.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they have the treatment James Cameron did for Aliens right here. And it's like half script, half just, treatment. Like he has stuff in there that it's like, well, I want them specifically to say this, then other stuff he's just describing.
Right.
And then it's kind of like, oh, okay, you kind of got to start there. How long is this fucking treatment? 46 pages.
Dang. Yeah, which is, I mean, the amount you work out and learn in the treatment and then what that allows you to do once you get to the draft, it's, what is it? I guess if I'm thinking sit around the fire telling stories, right? Back in hunter-gatherer days, what'd they do? Where was the old guy there like, all right, so I've got Sharon. And she's a real whippersnapper, all right? But she's just lost her career, and she's kind of out on her luck, and she needs to figure out who she's meant to be in this big world. And then we've got Tom, and Tom's a real old grouch, okay? But Todd has a lot. No, they're like, so fucking Susan walked down the street one day, and she walked in the store, and she noticed that there was this, fucking rotten apple. And she's like, I don't know what it is, but you start telling a story. You start moving with it, right? And you start going with, again, where the muse takes you, right? Again, that's writer's block is real. That's part of it. But I think that's part of the muse trying to say, and I hate saying the muse this many times. That's the muse. But I do because I also love Greek mythology. So I'm like, fuck it. The muse, when she's given nothing, right? I think you made the right move yesterday. It means let's try something different, right? When I am working out and my knee fucking hurts, I don't do legs. I do upper body. I do yoga. I do something different. And then I do legs the next day and I feel great and I get stronger, right? It's because you listen to so much of my life. I felt like every day was trying to get to somewhere, which it kind of is, right? But it's also every day is just every day, right? And my overall goal now is feel good in my body, in my, creativity, my mind, pay my bills and see people I care about. If I can check those 4 boxes, I feel good, I feel great, and who knows where that will take me in the long run, right? If I'm just following things that make me feel good each day, that are productive, that are tangible, again, not in like the capitalism way of like, oh, this is what you produced today, right? No, this is what I did today to feel like I grew a little bit, that made me feel like I was a little bit happy, that maybe didn't feel like I was, not being myself or overdoing it or anything like that. These just little tiny things that you can do through the day where you're like, that was a good day.
Yeah.
If you stack a bunch of good days on top of each other, which I know is hard to do in this world, but if you can, or even you're going to just have one good day amongst the shitty ones, I'm just like, that is the key to freedom to me. That is a sustainable thing that we can all pursue and we can all go after a little bit. Even again, hopefully it's not once a week, but even if it is once a week and you just say, I'm going to try and make this day, this is my day that I'm happy, right? Or this is my day that I feel good and like, yeah, I don't have a ton of time to work on my shit, but I can do this little bit. I can do this little thing. I can treat myself this way.
There was something that I just saved on Instagram recently that I wanted to share with you.
I'm rambling. I'm just saying things again. I'm doing that thing.
Yeah, I do that, though.
I do.
You just do that.
I do. I get cotton mouth every time I do.
I don't think I saved it.
No!
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Because I really liked what I saved. So
Yeah.
Or thought I saved.
I liked it too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it was basically like try and do these things like, get a lunch date with a friend once a month. Pick a day that you just do whatever the fuck you want. I can't remember, but it was a really good one where I'm like, yeah, those are good goals to strive for. Just have a lunch date with a friend. That'd be nice. Just,
Yeah.
Somebody who's not you.
I won't take that personally. No, I actually, and this is something I just figured out about, so I won't speak very much to it because I don't know very much. I haven't experienced it a ton, but it's very interesting because, I'm into the Myers-Briggs and the Enneagrams and the personality stuff, right? And I think obviously those aren't the end-all be-all truths, but I think there's something to learn if you take it seriously.
Right.
Like if you look at it and you go like, again, here's my thing that I would tell anybody that like is skeptical of stuff. Just say for 30 seconds, what if it is true, right? And if it makes you mad and it annoys you, it's like, well, there's something to that. If you can't spend 30 seconds on it, you just refuse. I think there's something even more to that. And if you spend 30 seconds on it and it sucks, then you learn. But if you also do it, and it's like, oh, I didn't get anything from this. That's another example. Like I've told people about Myers-Briggs. They've had a serious conversation with me. They've been like, yeah, I think that's bullshit. I'm like, hey, it doesn't help you. Then why do we need to talk about it anymore? Great. That's awesome. I'm glad we got to that point. You understand it. I understand why you don't like it, right? Bang, bang, boom. I hope I could articulate that to somebody in that sense. But again, I do think there's something worth looking into with it where like, learning about being an introvert, learning about being, a feeling person instead of a thinking person. It's like, these are just things that like, they more help me get around issues in my life more than teach me who I am, And I was recently turned on to this new one. I don't even really know what it's called, but it's a guy who's doing group classes at our gym. And he's a very like entrepreneur all over Denver. Like apparently like he gets like 30 people in these classes sometimes. And you're like, geez. This guy knows what he's doing, and apparently he goes rock climbing, and he plays volleyball every day, and he's wild. He's all about it, super in shape, fitness model. He's killing it, right? And we started talking on Monday, and he's like, yeah, I just did this thing where, like, I took a little, it's like a brain test, essentially. It's like a little 5-minute thing. You can do a longer one. Yeah. But
I got locked out of my 16 personalities profile.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Like
for
you had a certain
it,
amount of times like that you could open the downloaded file.
Oh yeah, I can't find any of those. I bought all 16 of them, and I don't know where they are.
Or at least you printed ours.
Yeah, I printed the ones like you, me, Wes, like the people that were like we were really talking about it, but which I think I still know where those are. But yeah, that sucked. I'm like, hey, I paid for this. I should have this forever, but whatever.
Yeah, I need to reread the ENFP one.
Right.
I'm a campaigner.
I could reread that INFJ all day. It gives me a little something each time. But this one was more like less of personality type, more of what activities in the day work best for you. So for example, he was telling me how he's got to play volleyball or rock climb or exercise, do something in the day. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's not just a like, oh, I love doing this. It's like if I don't do this, I'm a worse person. If I don't play, I'm a worse person. And yet, this person that I was dating was what we call an architect. Yeah. So she was super structured. She didn't get why I had to go play volleyball at 3 p.m. every day, right?
Right.
And I was like, that makes sense because, like, I think this is where a lot of conflict comes in is these little things that we don't understand why you have to do what you have to do and I have to do what I have to do.
That's a new one. Spider-Man's an ENFP.
Hey, is that on 16?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you know?
They just added that.
They added some things. I mean, check out INFJ, see See if there's any interesting characters
Willy
there.
Wonka.
So they got fictional characters. Well, I guess
But
they
then
always
you got
did.
yeah, because Michael Scott, I knew that.
Right, yeah, they had
But
Jon Snow.
I like
and the
this
INFJ.
one. It's got Will Smith is an ENFP. Russell Brand is an
That
ENFP.
makes a lot of sense.
Quentin Tarantino, Robin Williams, and RDJ.
Pretty good lineup, man.
Yeah. And of that list, a lot of them got tied up with addictions. And that's something that I remember the profile telling me is just like, yeah, ENFPs are addictive people.
Right. And those, again, those little lessons. And like I have more, mine's less like addictive. It's more like social things that you need to be careful of. Like things that might bother you that don't need to bother you as much or like whatever.
All right, look at ENFP campaigner weaknesses. People pleasing. Yes. I really have no fucking, and it's something that I've been working on at the bar, but I will just be like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'll help you. I'll do whatever you fucking need. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
This is what I do.
And it's not even like I'm trying to maintain the peace like it says right here, but it's like I compromise myself every time.
Right.
You know? Like, oh yeah, but like that was the thing was people would ask me to help them out with stuff and I would just do it, no questions asked. And the bartender, she was just like, you need to start charging people. All right. You're getting paid to work here up with me, but if it's any of those other people, you have to get tipped out by them. And I'm like, that's okay. I'll keep charging people now, but I didn't consider that.
Right.
I didn't consider that I was doing free labor, and I would do that for a lot of jobs where I'm just like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not clocked in, but I'll do this thing.
Yeah.
And then there are people that it's just like, if I'm clocked out, I'm fucking not doing anything for you.
100%.
Unfocused. The thrill of a new project, especially one that involves collaborating with other people, can bring out the best in campaigners, but this personality type is known for having ever-evolving interests, meaning that campaigners may find it challenging to maintain a discipline and focus over the long term. God damn it if that ain't true. Disorganized. If I could spin the camera around right now, people would see how fucking disorganized your boy is right now. Overly accommodating. That goes in with people pleasing. Overly optimistic. I'd say I'm a little bit more realist.
Yeah.
I
feel like you age into that, or that you age out of that one a little bit. Yeah.
And restless.
Interesting.
Yeah, but their inner idealism can leave them with a nagging feeling that some major areas of their life aren't good enough, whether it's their work or home life or their relationships. Goddamn right.
Bang, boom.
But no, dude, all of that stuff is right there. But hey, I was just thinking about this myself. It says good-natured for strength, and it's like, yeah, that's genuinely how I feel. I am just good-natured.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people think it's funny when I pop off.
Right.
Because for 90% of the time, I'm just like the best, the Sudeikis factor.
Yeah. Got that charm.
Just, oozing good nature. And then there's that 10% where I just go, fuck!
The best.
And they're followed by laughter.
So funny. Yeah, and I love that stuff. I really do think there's a lot of value to it. And even if it, like, Enneagram, right, that I am a 3, which means I'm a...
What is an Enneagram?
It's like a personality type of thing, except now you're more, instead of the letters and them picking like certain aspects of your personality.
More in depth.
Yeah, like so I'm a 3, which is an achiever is what it's called. So focused on goals and achieving, things within those goals, obviously, but more of like your tendencies, right? I'm very task oriented. I like writing. Like I want to make a script. That's my biggest goal of anything else. But then I'm a 2-wing, so I'm a helper. So I have a lot of tendencies to do the people pleasing thing and help people out and be a servant. But then I'm a 6, which is a loyalist, so kind of a rule follower and all these, like, it's this kind of comprehensive, more of a decision type analysis in a way, where Myers-Briggs is very much like your
Were you
tendencies.
The mediator or the protagonist?
I was the INFJ, which is the wizard guy.
Because there's advocate, mediator, protagonist. Advocate?
Yeah, that's the one. As the advocate.
Yes.
And yeah, this one that I was turned on to earlier this week has...
Dude, Jesus. I forgot about that. Yours. Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela. Mother Teresa.
It's pretty tight.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman. Good. Jon Snow. Aragorn.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Galadriel. Kiefer Sutherland from Designated Survivor.
Okay.
Rose from Titanic.
Classic.
Aramis from The Three Musketeers. Main character from Prison Break. Atticus Finch. Matt Murdock.
Oh, that's tight.
I was like, where's the superhero one? You're Matt
say,
Murdock, dude.
I'm into that. I'm a great lawyer.
And it's funny because they have them in like the green colors because we're the diplomats.
Yeah.
So green Spider-Man, green Daredevil.
That's tight.
That's
I like
pretty
it.
cool.
I like it a lot.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's I think this stuff again, whether it's true or not, it does help. So like this one is like Wade's the
I
explorer.
think there's a little bit of truth to every single one. I think
Totally.
there's fucking truth to horoscopes.
To everything, yeah.
I think there's like, cause a lot of times people are just like, oh, it's just some made up bullshit for your, when you were born and stuff. But you'll read it and you're just like, yeah, it speaks to me. And then you'll go read something like a cancer and you're just like, that's not me at all.
Right. Yeah, and you resonate with it. And is it that placebo recency bias or like because you are told it is? Yeah. But I don't think so. Like I think these things, like I think if somebody told me I was, a ISTP, I'd be like, I don't think so. Like I read this, I don't really get what I understand there are people that are like this, but this isn't really me. And that's where this one's cool. Because again, this one's much more what gets the most out of your day, right? So what came with it after the test is a little journal, right? And Wade was showing me his where like, it's
so
not.
Far, we're the only ones that have superheroes on ours.
Yeah. Hey, that's meant to be, dude. That's what it is. It's meant to be.
And mine says like, it has a little Y under it and I clicked it and like the little article for Peter Parker, it's specifically Tom Holland, isn't he? In
That's awesome.
That version. I'm like, great. That's my favorite.
That's the one. That's the one I resonate the most with.
Me too.
Right there. Yeah. And so like this one, like for the Explorer, it's not like, this is what I always have trouble with planners and journals. They're so organized in a way that I'm like, I can't do all this.
Yeah.
Like my body and mind can't commit to this schedule. You know what I mean? And these are the things I have to do. And I know I will get them done, but I don't think I can do it in this order, and what, at least the very brief look I got at this journal. So like for the architect, I bet it is like that shit. I bet it is like, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon, and then 3 other different areas on the page for like, what am I going to get out of this experience? What's my goal in 3 months from now? Very planned, the Explorer was very like, what did you do? It's like a bubble. And it was like, what'd you do to play today? Or what's your plan on moving? Or what are some goals you'd like to achieve? And then mine was The Alchemist was what I got. So I don't really know what's in there yet because
is this a specific site that you went to?
Yeah, here I'll send you the link. It's like a 5-minute test. It was super quick.
I'll take it on here and see what I get.
Yeah, right. Why not? Let's.
Wait,
there it is.
Bruce Banner, INTP. So is Avicii.
INTP.
Logician.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's I think what Jake is. Jake Beta.
So.
Can I? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Doctor Strange is a ENTJ.
Course he is.
Course he is.
Freaking guy. That's what my sister is. I don't know if you can do it from the link I sent on the phone, but
let's see. ProjectVero.com.
Type it in. Read the questions out loud as you do them. Answer in depth, Give us your reasons when you click the buttons,
Yeah. Well, hang on. .org, not .com. Oh, my bad. .org.
The what?
Oh, it's Evo, not Vero. I'm fucking it all up, man. Dead air,
dude.
There it is. All right, what is my brain type? Is that it?
I think so. That sounds right.
That's
Brain
a big
type.
box.
Yeah.
That's a big box. Before you begin, fill in, give us your info.
Yeah, give us your information. Of course.
Okay, get started. Let's start it up. Which of these sounds most like you? I'd rather take action than spend all my time talking about things. I love seeing the impact of what I do. I can easily tell when someone's idea won't work in the real world. I learn best from hands-on experience. I'm always asking what if and exploring ideas and connections. I often think about the abstract or theoretical for fun. I think of so many possibilities that it gets overwhelming at times. It frustrates me that I can't do all the things I think of. I'd say I'd relate to that one more.
There we go.
Because it does frustrate me that I can't do all the things I think of.
Mm-hmm.
Which of these sounds most like you? I see the world as open-ended and full of possibilities. I don't like getting locked into things and try to keep my options open. I come up with many new ideas, and when I'm talking or writing, it can often seem that they're coming out of nowhere, but I know exactly what information prompted each thought. And then most of my thoughts happen at a subconscious level. I often get impressions in my mind that are hard to describe. My inner world is like the stars in the sky, formless eternity that I can pluck things. It's not like a filing cabinet where everything I learned is organized. A little bit of that, but more column A.
Mm-hmm.
I achieved the best results when I started a new project idea by creating a detailed outline of all the steps and sub-steps I need to take. I try. Going with my instincts and making spur-of-the-moment changes as needed, probably that one. Mapping out big picture vision to inspire me. Visualizing the outcome I want and trusting my vision enough to get started. A little bit of each.
Mm-hmm.
But I would probably do going with my instincts, making spur-of-the-moment changes as needed.
F&A, Cotton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you think about an upcoming project or idea, your thoughts most closely resemble... I see the most likely outcome of my idea and focus on that possibility. I get excited about the idea, which reminds me of another idea I had, then another idea. And then I end up forgetting or changing my mind about how I started or should proceed with the idea and move on to something else. Now, I go over each detail in my mind to ensure that I don't forget anything before getting started. I would rather just get started on the project instead of sitting around and thinking about the what-ifs of it. I'd say the first one. I see the most likely outcome of my idea and focus on that possibility.
His name's Mr. Unlimited.
I like that. When it comes to generating new ideas, I would rather have a brainstorm session with smart, fun, like-minded people. We do that.
Mm-hmm.
Think on my feet, whether alone or on a team, and try out new ideas as they come up in real time. That gets sloppy because then most of the time people just fucking shoot it down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I come up with something and it's like, fine, what the fuck am I here for then?
Right.
You know, research the time. Like if we're trying to get people to go somewhere and I try and get people going and I throw out ideas and stuff and they get shot down and it's like, well, then you fucking figure it out.
Yep.
I'm the one coming up with ideas.
Yep. I get it.
Research a topic, gather knowledge and data on the subject, and piece together what has been proven to work previously into something new and interesting. Use my alone time to brainstorm with myself internally. First one. My man. When it comes to learning a new skill or hobby, I tend to focus on one or just a few select topics of areas of study. Have a wide variety of interests. It can be difficult for me to focus on just one for a long time. That one for sure.
Give me a break.
You're getting it. When I'm working on a project with someone else, I get most frustrated when they give me lots of tiny details at once without an outline or context for those details. They try to get me to connect with a vague, big picture vision without giving me any of the practical steps we'll take to get there. That one sounds more frustrating because, I mean, you at least give me the tiny details for like gods or something like that, but I can follow. I can track along, and it's like you'll give me stuff that's like going to happen later, but why it will because of what happens earlier, and you need to be clued into all this shit. So it's like I can follow you, but if you were just to be like, okay, so Osiris is fighting Odin, and I'm like, why? Where's the setup? Where's the basis?
Right.
What world are we dealing with here? Because is there Greek?
Right.
What are you doing?
What's going on here?
When it comes to productivity, I mostly need help with getting started on the execution of tasks, finishing what I started finishing.
So emotional.
I like to start my day most closely related to meditation, journaling, planning out my day, exercising. Mostly or recently, it's been I would consider it meditative to go and sit out in the yard in the sun. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't actually engage in closing my eyes and just focusing on breathing, but I do. it's a mindfulness exercise more than anything, where I'm just sitting there, and it's meditation, because that's what mindfulness is. Essentially, it's just meditation focuses on the in, mindfulness focuses on the out. So it's like being able to sit in like nature or something like that, have all these details hit you, but not ascribing labels or, focusing on it, just absorbing everything and focusing on the external rather internal. So, yeah. I'm most interested in getting things done, mapping out the vision, exploring new possibilities, understanding how or why something works. I'd say exploring new possibilities.
Yeah, he's got an agenda.
See my results. I'm an alchemist.
Ah, you and me both, bro.
We're alchemists.
We're alchemists.
So
get the journal.
Woohoo, you're
Spend
an
the money.
alchemist. Your potential is unlimited. What does the video say?
Congratulations, you're an alchemist.
It tries to sell you on the
As an
journal.
alchemist, you
Okay,
possess...
then I'm not going to do that.
It gives you a little overview of what the alchemist
It's
is.
a tiny
if you
thing.
wanna
Is
listen
you
to
need
it.
variety and to share your discoveries to thrive. You are great at creative problem solving and coming up with out-of-the-box ideas. Well, let's see what Access My Evo Planner is. Does it give me more information, or does it just take me to the
Take you to the
checkout?
link. That's right.
Sorry, the video does not exist. So yeah, get into flow. So this is just to help you like get into flow state, essentially.
Yeah, more or less. Again, I just learned about it this week, so I'm very much experimenting with it. But I like the concept. Like I said, if I can spend every day, every moment of every day, either hanging out with people I care about or trying to get to flow state, then I think I'm in the right place.
Yeah. Weird Al Yankovic and Sarah Silverman, EMTPs.
Oh, okay.
So is Mark Twain, Tom Hanks.
I thought you were about to say they're dating. I was like,
No.
whoa.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that's
Captain
that.
Jack Sparrow.
Would have never guessed.
Sacha Baron Cohen, the Joker. First DC character on this thing.
Interesting.
So Felicity Smoke from Arrow. He missed! The most annoying character on that fucking show. Well, that was cool.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Actually, since we're on this kind of a subject, I want to see how much it costs to get like an Ancestry.com thing. Because I think that would be the one for us to do, because it feels like they're the ones that tell the story of your family tree rather than just being like, you're Scandinavian as fuck, bro.
Right.
So I think that would be the one
Thanks for
to
telling me.
do. Save up to 50 days. Well, hang on. $60 for Ancestry DNA. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
We could do that.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, we'll do it down the line.
Yeah.
Let's do that for episode 150,
There we go.
because we're coming up on that. I think it actually might be next week. Never mind.
Oh, shit. Really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
think we're on episode 149 right now.
That's tight.
Let me see. Yeah, this is episode 149.
Yeah. That's tight.
Yeah, we're coming up on
Gotta
it.
start figuring out 150.
Yeah, and then because next week, the first episode was May 8th or 9th, I believe. Come on, you bitch. Load, scroll. May 8th, 2019.
Wow.
So that'll be a Sunday, and we'll be recording DMT reviews, I guess. But that would be our third birthday.
Yeah.
But not the 3 times 52 weeks, because we missed a few.
Sure. It happens. You know,
It happens.
COVID happened. The fact that we did it through COVID is incredible.
First thing we reviewed was The Predator, Game of Thrones finale, Barry seasons 1 and 2, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters, Dark Phoenix, Chernobyl, John Wick Chapter 3,
I remember all those things very vividly.
Spider-Man Far From Home, Lion King. And then that's when we did the DMT commentary,
Oh, yeah.
which we still haven't done any of those.
Yeah.
We only
I
did
was thinking
one.
about that, though. I was like, yeah, that'd be a cool thing to bring back.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think that would be
Especially-
fun. I think that would be a fun one to do for like lock it up in a Patreon or something,
Sure. That'd be cool.
so that we
yeah.
don't run into any sort of legal issues, and we can actually watch the movie side by side on the same screen.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
So
Tight. Let's make it happen, dude.
Clown shoes and aggressive anxiety is the title of an episode.
I bet that was about my feet.
100%.
Well, this has all been very fun, my friend. But
Indeed.
I gotta go.
now that we got on the subject of my feet, I gotta get out of here. We gotta
Get
get out
out of here, Kevin Love. Get out of here, Kevin Love.
Oh man, who is playing tonight in the NBA playoffs? I know Kevin Love's not. I knew Kevin Love was coming off the bench this season. I didn't even know that. So actually,
So he's not a starter anymore?
Guess not, or at least he wasn't there for a minute. But
Whoa.
ain't no thing.
That's pretty nuts.
What an ep, Sammy B.
What an app, indeed. Not a lot of laughs, but I also didn't smoke weed before this episode, so whatever.
I like to think we were kind of insightful.
Hey,
Or,
insight is, if we're going for insightful
or super whiny.
over funny, that's better.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Or not better, but if we can't make it funny, if we can make it insightful, then it's good. It's a good product that we put out here on DMT Don't Miss This Podcast. Be sure to check out every Thursday and then every Monday for the videos.
Yeah.
And I got, actually not for DMT reviews, but for the videos, I will say check it out the next day.
Right.
You know, Ryan Sickler style, because it takes a while to edit and upload this shit.
That's right.
So
That's right. Sammy B. Sorry, I should say Sammy Dutch Boy is working hard.
God,
in
dude.
here, okay.
Dude.
Yeah. Sammy Dutch Boy is grinding.
Captain America is a defender, which is ISFJ.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm looking for Thor here, people.
Yeah, I know.
What is Thor?
I bet he's an E something.
I think so too.
He's extroverted, even though he goes off on his own journeys.
Let's see. Boromir.
Da-boom.
Dwight. I don't think that this one's gonna be Thor. No.
Yeah. Wait, is Dwight an extrovert?
It says
I
so.
guess that makes sense. Yeah, he is.
ESTJ.
Yeah, just because he's a nerd doesn't mean he doesn't like being around people.
Exactly.
He likes being smarter than people.
This is the last extrovert one. I think it's an ESFJ. Sassy.
Has there been any Tony Stark?
No Tony Stark yet.
And I don't think there'll be a Thor.
Nope,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, wow, they got Doctor Strange in there. They got Matt Murdock in there and no Thor or Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To be TF, now granted, I would love to be Matt Murdock, but just make Thor an INFJ. Just make
So
it.
they got Cap, Hulk, and Spider-Man. And let's see.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones
Thor's an
is
INFJ,
is an ISTP.
dude. Thor's totally
Hardcore
in.
DMT. When you do DMT, you see that.
Yeah, this is all very, very interesting. Oh yeah, check out the Colored Plaid comedy. Can't forget that. Doesn't look like we're gonna get another Marvel person. I'm looking. There's an adventurer. But 16personalities.com is just fun to look at all this shit.
It is. Highly recommend it.
And Madonna with like pyramid titties.
What do you know?
Bruce Willis, Sam Jackson. They're both the same personality type.
Thor's an INFJ.
Totally.
100%.
Rocket, Ant-Man.
Jeez. This is getting out of this world.
So they're all entrepreneurs. Which makes sense because Rocket and Ant-Man both steal shit.
Yeah.
That's their like primary MO.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Marvel. Peregrine Took.
No tone.
Whatever. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Tune in next week. We love you.
Keep it sleazy, Mayor McCheesy.
Yep. I totally fucking love you guys. I need Alpha Brain, dog.